A new area has just opened up in Valamor, with plenty of fresh content to explore. I'm doing the opposite. I've locked myself in a single chunk, Auburn-Vale. No bank, no escape, just me, and hopefully you, figuring it out as we go. Welcome to Unveiled, my one-chunk Iron Man, locked to Auburn-Vale, part of the most recent Valamor expansion. When this update launched a couple months ago, I spent some time here on my group Iron, and really enjoyed the new content, but also just the beautiful environment here. It looks spectacular. I had been toying with the idea of making a one-chunk account for the last 6 months or so, and with the release of Auburn-Vale, it just felt like the perfect chance to finally give it a try. And so here we are. This is the first real video I've ever made, and also my first restricted account. It's going to be a big learning curve, and I've got a long way to go, but I'm excited to give it a shot, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. Just in case you don't know what a one-chunk account is, the RuneScape map is split into 64 by 64 tile sections called chunks. The idea is simple. You make an Iron Man, a character who can't trade with others in any way, and you lock them to that chunk. You then complete every doable task in your current chunk before unlocking a neighbouring one. The difficulty and how chunks are chosen depends on the player and their rule set. I haven't fully figured out the rules for this account yet. I'm not sure I have enough mental fortitude and orts, like Verf and Limpwurt, to use the extreme chunk rule set, but I still want the tasks to be challenging and entertaining. For now though, it shouldn't matter too much for the first chunk, but I'll make sure everything's finalised and clear before I move on to any new chunks. As for account exceptions, for now there's only really one, Children of the Sun. This is the quest you need to complete to access Valamor, and then I'll head straight into my starting chunk. Later on, I might allow 3 more exceptions, 2 quests being Druidic Ritual to unlock Herblore, and maybe Rune Mysteries to unlock rune crafting, and possibly buying a house. But for now, I want to keep it simple. Apart from checking that this chunk and the ones around it are doable, I haven't researched much, and honestly, that's how I want it. I'd love this account and journey to be a collaborative process, and I'd appreciate any and all help finding useful methods or things I've missed, as well as suggesting strategies I haven't considered. I've watched a few other one-chunk or restricted accounts, and I don't really enjoy them as much when they've got the next 100 steps of the account planned out already. I'd rather figure things out as we go, with you guys. With that all out of the way, let's head over to our new home for the next while. So that was the route I was planning to take. I even made a nice graphic for it. And then on the way, I found out there's a mountain guide that just takes you most of the journey anyway, including the dangerous bit. So never mind, at least you got to see my cool graphic. So, here we are. Let's have a little look around our chunk and see what we can find. The first thing that grabs my attention is the iron axe. Having an axe spawn is really nice. There is an axe shop just over here as well, but this is going to give us a great starting point. And the other thing is I could hop worlds for this to get a source of money for the general store. So that's really nice. Oh, he has a saw. I didn't even think about that. That's amazing actually. If we end up being able to use a house, which I'm not sure about, having a saw means that we don't have to make an exception to get a saw to make the tool storage use a saw. So that's really nice. Let's wander over to the pub and have a look. We've got tourists, so they're basically like men or women, but you can't attack them, which is unfortunate. We got a cheery buyer. Very cute. Let's have a look. So this guy sells some pretty awesome stuff. We've got a bunch of drinks. Let's have a look. I have no idea what they do. This one, Axeman's Folly, maybe a woodcutting boost. I really don't know. But these 3 are probably going to be the most useful things for the account. Just a source of food. It's going to be really helpful for training and potentially bossing in the future. Like just having unlimited food purchasable is going to be great. Money shouldn't be an issue on this account ever, really. Let's have a look upstairs and see what else we can find. Or maybe pickpocketing up here is a good idea. Yeah, there's not too much interactable bits and pieces I've noticed with most of Valamor. Like everything's quite purposeful. Citizen, we got guard, we have a child. Hello, how's it going? Jesus Christ. Okay, let's move on. Oh, okay, so we got an anvil here. Anvil's awesome. So smithing's in the future for sure. And there is a bank just here. Just out of reach from our chunk. But having that so close to an anvil, I'm imagining it's going to be very useful. So this is an axe shop. So we get bronze through the addy, which is amazing. It's going to be really good for our cutting progression. And then we've also got battle axes. I don't know how good battle axes are, because I think they're slow attack speed, like 5 or 6 ticks. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure they'll be useful. And equipping an addy battle axe is one of our chunk tasks anyway. So this general store has like a lot of really good supplies. We get a mortar and pestle, which again means we don't have to make an exception for herbal. We can fill up vials because we have a water source just over here. So herbal is on the cards. We've got a tinderbox for fire making. That's great. A bowl, bucket, pot, just needle and thread for crafting in the future. Just a really, really good assortment of tools all around. The only frustrating thing really is the fishing rod here. We don't have access to bait, I don't think. And we will have access to feathers, but obviously we can't turn it into a fly fishing rod. Bit weird. It would be nice to have the ability to do that. So this is a tanning shop. So in the future, we could potentially tan some hides or leathers. I know there are some dragons down this way in this den here. And even though that's quite far away, I mean, it's possible that we'll want to train crafting or make d'hide for the account. So that's pretty great. Oh, we also have a needle. There's also a loom. I don't think I've ever used a loom in this game, and I don't really know what you can do with them. So that's something we'll definitely investigate later on. We have a furnace here. Oh, another hammer. Free money. So again, having the bank over there that's not too far of a run to be able to smelt bars, and then anvil right there. So that's pretty great. That's a really nice thing to have in that chunk. Mark my words, I will regret that when I get some insane smithing grind that's going to take months, but hypothetically it's good. We have a lot of guards. Guards are really good for combat training. I'll show you probably the greatest discovery of this account that I made with my friend, actually just yesterday, long after I started the process of making this account, which is that over here somewhere, there is a rabbit spawn. Ah, there he is. So the reason that this rabbit spawn is so good is there are rabbits that wander into the chunk in the southwest corner, and I was thinking I would have to train off them initially. But having one spawn in the chunk consistently is just so much nicer. It's really a game changer. And it's going to make getting through those early combat levels so great. It's going to give us a source of prayer experience through their bones, and cooking experience, and even food from the meat they have. One thing that I noticed is that there's a few hunter training methods here. And here we have wild kebbuts. On the mini-map though, they're marked as common kebbuts, so I think just the world marker is wrong. If we have a way to get hunter up, maybe through forestry or lamps, this actually becomes a viable method to train hunter. We also have ruby harvests, which might be better. I'm not too sure. We'll look into that a bit later. Butterflies, quite a few guards. I'm sure there'll be some more discoveries along the way, and we'll figure things out. And I encourage you guys to, help try and figure things out as we go. Now that we've seen the area, here are the chunk tasks we need to complete. Some of these will be quick, others not so much. One big hurdle is that I don't have a bank in this chunk, so we'll need to be smart about the order we tackle these in. I do have one trick up my sleeve to help with this, but we'll talk about that another time. Skilling tasks. Let's start with the biggest grind of the account, 90 fletching, to fletch a dragon arrow. This will mostly come from the Veil Totems minigame, but without a bank, managing the rewards will be a bit tough. This will take by far the most time, and so we're going to shelve it for the time being. The other tasks in this chunk are 45 fire making to burn maple logs, 45 wood cutting to chop maple logs, 40 thieving to pickpocket a guard, 40 defense to wield a maple shield, 30 attack to equip an addy weapon, and 1 cooking to successfully cook a rabbit. These tasks should be relatively easy with all the resources available to us in the chunk, but they'll still take a bit of time. Some of these will happen naturally anyway while we grind towards 90 fletching. As for the other tasks in the chunk, we have some gear tasks, so equip an Addy battle axe bought from the axe store, obtain a maple shield made through fletching, and equip an iron dagger looted from a guard. From the other tasks as well, complete the Veil Totems mini quest, greenlog the Veil Totems minigame, and then fully upgrade the bowstring spool. So, that's what we're working with, and now the painful part begins. Next episode, we'll start chasing our first chunk tasks, diving into thieving and picking up some of those first combat levels. Thank you so much guys for watching. This is my first video and I'd really appreciate any feedback you've got. I'll see you soon in the next chapter. Thanks.